Then I started developing awareness.
Those of you who didn't make it to the gym this morning, that was your cardio workout. Very special welcome home to the 50th reunion class, the illustrious, the notorious, the extraordinary class of 1963. Other reunion classes to which this class has set an extraordinary example and challenge. We have been preparing for your arrival for the past year. We are delighted that you are all here and in such strength. Let us take a moment to thank the remarkable staff of the Office of Alumni Affairs for the work and the planning that made this possible. Because every year, this office, along with their advancement colleagues and the entire staff, the dining service staff, the facility staff, everyone at Knox, hosts a terrific party for 1,000 guests. This year's homecoming. I think, given the Beach Boys theme, I would in fact say that this year will have especially good vibrations. Homecomings, as I say every year at this time, are small colleges' family reunions. Like every family, we come together to celebrate our successes and achievements and milestones. A few years ago, I said that I had confidence that the alumni of this institution, 16,000 strong, would come together to renovate the building that bears their name. And this year there is orange fencing around Alumni Hall. There is also bracing of the walls of Alumni Hall. And I must confess to you that the thought of attempting to renovate a very old building that has been vacant for 30 years with special steel bracing is giving this college president a certain amount of anxiety. But I know that what makes that building stand up is not just the steel outside, but the steel inside, which comes from all of you. So I thank you for everything you've done to make the Alumni Hall renovation possible. Now I'm going to get out of the way so we can move to the main event. Thank you.
As some of you know, but perhaps all of you don't know, what you see in front of you is a mixture of the current Knox College choir, 50 students, and all the alumni of the choir who have come back for the weekend. And we're really pleased that we have so many wonderful choir alums here with us today. This is going to be a complete and total mood shift because the piece we're doing is one of the favorites of some of the classes that have come back this year, and that's why I chose it. It's the very, very beloved Ave Maria by Bibo.
Thanks to our amazing Knox College Choir who have been singing here for 75 years. And we are blessed to have had the same wonderful choral director, Laura Lane, for 30 years. Consider attending tonight's Knox College Choir concert and 75th reunion right here in Kresge Recital Hall at 8 p.m. for more beautiful music. And I wanted to clarify something. If you made dinner reservations for this evening and are not in the class of 53, 58, or 63, you are here on campus. And we got so excited planning the event that we forgot to tell you where it is. So the homecoming dinner on campus, outside of the 3 classes that I mentioned, is in T. Fleming Fieldhouse, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Good morning and welcome home to Knox. I'm Beverly Holmes, Vice President for Advancement, and not John Sauter, as the program says. It has, however, been customary for the President of the Alumni Council, who is indeed John Sauter, to announce the winner of the Ralph Walter Prize and the 50th reunion gift for the class. The reason I'm here instead of John is that John is a member of this year's 50th reunion class of 63, and indeed was the chair of the reunion. We wanted to honor John's role by allowing him to bring the gift forward to Teresa Amott, and then he'll take over for the rest of the meeting. The fact that a member of the class of 1963 is serving the college as president of the Alumni Council is indicative of the class of 1963. This is a class that has provided unparalleled service to Knox over the past 50 years, truly understanding that it is the combined impact of time, talent, and treasure from our alumni which serves Knox to the fullest. A quick review of the class shows 43 members of the class have served on a reunion committee, 42 have volunteered for admission or career services, 25 have served as class agents, 4 have served on the Alumni Council like John is now, 3 have served or are serving as general trustees for the college. 2 have led the college's board as chair. 2 serve the college on campus, 1 as a faculty member and 1 as an administrator, for a combined total of 82 years. 1 has served as leader of a Knox club for 20 years in D.C. 1 served as college president for a decade. And 1 served as pro bono legal counsel for Knox. As the class of 1963 planned their 50th reunion over the past 3 years, they decided their gifts should support the Knox Fund, but also the transformation of Alumni Hall. The class recognized that alumni before them had paved the way from their own generosity, and now was the time for the class to pay it forward for another generation. So they decided to raise funds to name the Office of Financial Aid in Alumni Hall. The office will now be known as the Class of 1963 Office of Financial Aid. John, John, will you bring the gift to President Amott?
Who is eagerly awaiting him.
President Amott, the Class of 1963, is pleased to present Knox College with a check for $1,852,000. Remain standing. As the Ralph Walter Prize honors the reunion class with the largest percent of classmates giving to Knox, this year's recipient is also the Class of 1963 with 54.5. Campaign, 58.4% of the classmates have. And we're just this honor will be engraved on the ewer that you see over here displayed on the stage. We'd like the 63 reunion core group to meet at the ewer here at the end of convocation and have your picture taken with John. And Teresa and I are going to take the check and run.
Is to recommend names for your consideration to serve on behalf of the council in the coming years. And in connection with the Alumni Council at large members, we have Jacob Plummer, the class of 2000, and Diane Newell, the class of 85, and Amy Zox Busher, the class of 98. With regard to the Knox Service Award Selection Committee, we have Jean Belief Menino, 68. With regard to Alumni Trustee Selection Committee members, we have Susan Coates-Floman, 86, and Brad Coates of 90. As a matter of formality, I'm going to request that we receive a motion to accept these recommendations to our Alumni Council. We've heard a motion, and is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Another one of my duties and opportunities as chair of the Alumni Council is to hand out awards to individuals who made generous contributions of their time and energy to our favorite college. And this morning we have 3 excellent candidates, and I will ask them to come forward. I guess, first of all, there's Richard Kowalski. Richard Kowalski, please. Yes, good. Though Knox is not Dick Kowalski's alma mater, he's a true friend of Knox. For several years, he was the link between the college and OSF St. Mary Medical Center, making it possible for Knox students to work as interns. The cornerstone of the Knox College education program is the experiential learning component. Dick understood this and worked closely with Terry Sweeney, Director of the Baskin Family Center for Career and Pre-Professional Development, to offer opportunities through OSF. Dick participated in the Choral Career Development Forum, an event that provides students with the opportunity to hear from a wide range of executives and receive practical career information and advice. Dick's long tenure in hospital administration lent a unique perspective on the progression of healthcare services. He served also on the Business Advisory Council. When son Sterling chose Knox, I got a bigger Knox connection than I thought. He chose Knox and moved to campus. Dick and his wife, Doris, became members of the Parent Executive Committee. Good for you. As parent volunteers, Dick helps with welcome calls, solicitation of gifts, and parent reception. The Kowalskis are members of the Gale Society, a giving club for local alumni and friends, and the President's Circle, a leadership giving society at Knox. Though Dick's 34 years as CEO at OSF, St. Mary Medical Center, came to an end in June, his involvement in the Gelsler community continues. He's chairman of the Executive Committee of the Gelsler Area Regional Economic Development Association and remains active at Knox and Carl Stanford College, and assists with the National Railroad Hall of Fame members. Please join me in congratulating Dick on 2013 Knox Service Award. Liberta to come forward, please. Michelle Geyer of the class of 2010 is just one of the students who was able to finish her time at Knox because of the Reverend Pete Hossett Scholarship Fund. That fund exists because Tony Liberta worked with 5 classmates to establish an endowed scholarship in memory of their friend and teammate, Reverend Pete Hossett of the class of 55. The scholarship goes to a student involved in campus and community activities with a special focus on working with youth or within religious or faith-based organizations. Tony has served Knox in a variety of positions. He was the FYC Board of Trustees Observer for 4 years, and in that role, reported news to club members via the FYC Bulletin. Tony volunteered as a class agent and at-large representative for the Alumni Council, a 50th union volunteer, good for you, and an admission volunteer. Tony is a retired emeritus professor of biology at Illinois State University. An avid rose grower, he was a member of the former McLean County Rose Society, having served as its editor, treasurer, vice president, and president. He's currently a member of the Greater Peoria and Decatur Rose Societies in Illinois. As a member of the American Rose Society, he served on its board of directors for 6 years. He frequently lectures and writes articles on various aspects of rose culture and was a contributing author along with his wife to the books Ultimate Rose and The Rose. Please join me in congratulating Tony on his 2013 Knox Service Award. Steve Walton, could you please come forward? Steve Walton is no stranger to the Knox campus. In the past year, he spent time on campus as part of the selection committee to hire a new football coach. The committee conducted a nationwide search and participated in on-campus interviews for 5 candidates. As a letter winner in both track and football, his love for Knox athletics runs deep. Steve contributed to the Athletics Initiative in 2008 and named the home sideline at Nozier Bowl and the shot put area of the track and field venue. He served on the Alumni Council as an at-large member from 2000 to 2005. During that time, he worked with the committee to revise the Athletic Hall of Fame selection, the bylaws. Steve was a class agent and is a member of the President's Circle and K Club. Steve attends summer alumni gatherings in Michigan and comes from a long legacy of Knox graduates. His father, mother, and 2 aunts are alumni. He's a retired teacher and coach from Sterling High School District Number 5, and now living in Michigan. Steve gives back to his local community as a Rotary member, church deacon, volunteer for Meals on Wheels, and a tour guide and member of the Education Committee of Point Betsy Lighthouse. He continues his connection with youth as an elementary school tutor and as a track coach for Frankfurt High School. Please join me in congratulating Steve on his 2013 Knox Service Award.
And I was graduated by it in 2003. So I'm celebrating my 10th homecoming this year. Are there any other members of my class here this morning? Small number this morning. Saturday mornings were never really our thing. And clearly they still aren't. The only difference now, I guess, is that for a lot of us, we've traded nursing our hangovers for nursing our baby. That's certainly the case for me, which is why I look like death right now, or at least feel like death. Okay, this morning I am here on behalf of the faculty to thank our alumni for the support they have provided for our undergraduate research program. One special prize I will announce today is the Stephen Floyd Memorial Fellowship Award that was established in 1994 through gifts in memory of L. Stephen Floyd, class of 1970. The fund supports Ford Fellows and other students who are conducting research and majoring in philosophy or political science and other social sciences. Steve is described as a great student and a wonderful person. His wife, Carol Everly Floyd, class of 68, regrets that she could not return this year for homecoming. The 2012 recipient of the Stephen Floyd Fellowship Award is Marcus McGee. Marcus is a senior from Chicago. His research examines how drug war violence in Mexico has changed in the past 2 decades. This past summer, his Ford Fellowship took him to Guadalajara, where he gathered data and conducted interviews. Marcus, please stand to be recognized.
Welcome back. I'm Carol Brown. I graduated from this great college in 1999, and I have the great pleasure of being the alumni director. I'm here this morning to present the Homecoming Attendance Award, which recognizes the class with the greatest number of registered classmates. I know you can't wait to find out who it is. And this is as of the close of registration yesterday. And, we're on a roll, so let's just keep on going. Congratulations to the great class of 1963. Members of the committee to please come forward for a nice photo op. Peter's down there waiting. Come on, John. Somebody else, come up. Help John.
Hello, and welcome back to Knox. We're really happy to have you, and it's really good to see this place full of Knox family. I mean, can we get a round of applause for everybody that's came? I'm Alex Jandernoa. I'm the class president for the class of 2014. And when I was asked, well, more told by Carol Brown, she posed me the question, what does Knox mean to you? And as you all know, that is a very big question. And in typical Knox fashion, I thought about it, and the question just kept being bigger. And so this place, it's just so small geographically. But within it is contained all these memories, these moments, these feelings that make up what Knox means to a person. It's different for me than it is for every single other person. And I think that's very special in itself. But when I really wanted to think about what Knox meant to me, I had to think back to when I first wanted to come here. What made me want to go here? When I was visiting all these schools in the Midwest, all over the country, why did I want to become a Knox prairie fighter? What made me want to spend my 4 years in this small prairie town? And during my search, I wanted to find a school where I could go to a class and it wouldn't just be a class. It wouldn't be part of your schedule, your day-to-day grind. I had exited high school wanting to do that. 17-year-old me was craving a class naively where I could talk about the Russian literature that I thought I knew so much about, or the international politics that I now realize I had no idea anything about. And so I came to Knox, and the wonderful admissions counselors gave me my tour and set me up in a class. It was a poli-science class, or poli-sci class with visiting professor, and I watched just the thing I wanted to happen. Conversation bounced back and forth, not just between the student and the professor, but the students and the students. And everybody was engaged. They really had done their readings. They had really wanted to gain this knowledge and then share it, to discuss it, to have a conversation. I walked down to the admissions office and signed right there. I wanted to come to school. And I digged and I thought, oh, this is it. But I learned that this school is not just about the conversation in the class. The people here, from the faculty, from the teachers, to the deans, to the food service, every single person here is open to engaging in conversation. And they're pushing me to know more, to speak about it, to discuss. And that's something that's very special. And as recent alumni have told me, the real world is not as nice as this. But I think that's something that makes this place special. It makes it what it means to me. I am not afraid to ask a question and be wrong. I'm not afraid to speak out in class. I want to engage in all facets of learning, not just my major, my friends' majors, listening to the music with this wonderful choir and talking about it, discussing it, learning. And I encourage you, while you're here back at Homecoming, to talk to a student, talk to your friends. I've seen it happen at all the alumni meetings I've been at. Everybody here at Knox has that conversation, that urge for knowledge and to discuss it, and that's something very special. And we as students realize how lucky we are to have that. And we thank you, alumni, for all you do for us to make that possible. Making sure that we can still go to school after the deadline cuts off. Making sure that we have wonderful, wonderful deans like Teresa that really care about us and what's happening in this college. And so thank you, and I urge you to engage with this and enjoy your homecoming.
There is that special loyalty alums have for Knox, helping not only with funding, but also with recruiting, finding jobs for students, and with making Knox known across the country and around the world. Some alums have returned to serve in various capacities, as Bev mentioned, including as trustees. One class of 63 trustees became the first female board chair. Our Smatty, Diane Smatty, Rosemary. Knox has a devoted and hardworking staff, ready to do that little bit extra in so Knox. For example, the dorm housekeeper went and got a prescription filled and delivered to a sick student. The dishwasher from dining services who has come out into the dining room to help persuade prospective students and their families that Knox is the place for them. And staff have a program for donating sick days to help each other. If you don't need them, then they can go into a bank for those who do. Similarly, the faculty have a tradition of supplying meals to their colleagues who, for example, have just welcomed a new baby into the family. And faculty are famous for having first-year advisees to dinner in their houses, in their homes during orientation week. Faculty help students in so many ways in and out of class. For example, the prof who counsels students who successfully protected the funeral cortege of Sergeant Kyle Worrell, who was killed in Iraq. Students stood umbrellas up in the front of the hate-spewing members of the anti-gay Westboro Baptist Church. The resulting front-page picture in the Galesburg Register Mail did a lot to help pound down relations. And students help the college in so many ways. They work effectively in the Red Room tutoring program outreach, in admissions, and in advancement. Choir got up early Saturday morning. Here with us. Seniors now have the Senior Challenge, a fundraising campaign that is not so much about dollars, but rather about what percentage of class participates. And Knox students are sometimes examples for us all, on and off campus. This inspiring example came to me by chance, because the student is so modest. She gave up an archaeological dig in Maryland one summer to provide hospice care for her dying grandmother. So Knox, what's the point of the stories? After all these years, at its best, Knox still values integrity and compassion, and is still a family.
If I may. September 7th, 1959. I was over in Salute 3 about 7:15, putting the last lick of bushwhacks on my flat top. Getting ready for the freshman mixer, which was going to be in what we then called the women's gym, at 7:30. So I came out of my room, walked across the suite in Salute 3, and there was my roommate, Bruce Spencer, sitting in the suite reading the Tribune. I haven't seen Bruce. I think some health issues prevented him from being with us. But that evening, Bruce looked up from the Chicago Tribune and said to me, "Where are you going?" "Freshman mixer," I said. "Doesn't start until 7:30, Spence said. "Well," I said, "it's dang near 20 after already." No, he said. "Not cool to get there on time." See, Spence was a cool city dude from Lombard. So about 7:45, Spence and I, two cool guys from Salute 3, strode into the women's gymnasium. And I think probably some of you will remember that one of the mixing games they had for us was called Treasure Hunt. They gave us each a sheet of paper, remember? Had a series of signature lines, blank signature lines, and descriptions. Tallest boy, someone who plays the drums, someone who's wearing a Gruen watch. And the procedure was you spot somebody, are you the tallest boy, go over, ask him to sign, and shake hands and get to meet him. Steve Teeter was the tallest boy. Brent Benson was somebody who played the drums. Dee Fredrickson was wearing a Gruen watch. And how do I say this with such confidence? Well, you see, I kept. Girl. And I gazed out across the room. And there she was. So I crept over, bashful farm boy from Fulton County, held up my treasure hunt. "Excuse me, are you the shortest girl?" Well, she was standing in a semicircle of what I later found out were other haughty Eastern gals. She didn't even look at me. She just said, yes, signed today. The tribulations of my courtship of the shortest girl are too long to tell you this story. Just suffice it to say, eventually, she got senior sweats. Forgive me, please, Professor Denial. But as I look back on that September 7th evening and think about, the folks who designed the game Treasure Hunt had it right for reasons that they probably didn't think of at the time. Because you see, those of us in the class of 63 that evening met individuals that we would come to treasure. Some have been our best friends for the rest of our lives. Some we rarely see, but when we get together, as we are this weekend, it's just like it was over 50 years ago. And that's why so many of us came back and we won the award. We came back to reconnect with each other, to reconnect with the college, to support the college, to show our support for our terrific 19th president. Show our pride in our great college, same kind of pride that the current students have. Why the current students, let me ask the members of the Knox Let me ask them a couple of questions. Members of the choir, this winter break, when you go home, somebody asks you where you go to college, are you going to look down at your shoes and say, oh, small school you probably never heard of? What are you going to say?
For 2 years. At this time, I would like to ask two trustees and former chairs of the board to join me on the stage. Trustee Diane Rosenberg, as you know, member of the class of 1963, and Trustee Jan Corin, who is also joining us here. And while they're making their way to the stage, with the Dean of the College Emeritus, Larry Breitford, and Chancey Ferris Booth Professor of Political Science, Lane Sunderland, also join this illustrious party. I know, everybody's wondering what's going on. Ready? It is now my privilege to confer honorary degrees upon two recipients selected by the Board of Trustees. Knox College awarded its first honorary doctorate, see I cried too, to Abraham Lincoln in 1860. And since then, it has continued its tradition of awarding degrees to individuals of great distinction. These degrees carry the weight of the history, tradition, and values of this college. They are conferred with care and with deep respect, and if I could say also, love, for those whose lives and deeds we are privileged to honor. Life trustee, former chair of the board, Diane Rosenberg, will present the first candidate for an honorary degree.
President Amott, I am honored to present Ann Taylor for the degree of Doctor of Laws. From Sandwood, New Jersey in 1959 as a first-generation college student. During her 4 years at Knox, Ann pursued a degree in English literature, was a member of the choir, mortar board, and Phi Sigma Alpha, and served as president of Delta 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 sorority. Shortly after arriving on campus, she met a classmate, Roger Taylor, and both of their lives would soon change. Ann and Roger ultimately became partners on a journey that would take them to Chicago to pursue law school and prestigious legal careers, and back to Galesburg as leaders of their alma mater. Ann graduated from Knox in 1963, worked on the East Coast and in Chicago before attending Northwestern University Law School, where she was an editor of the Northwestern Law Review. Ann worked as a trial lawyer for the Illinois Attorney General's Office and the Federal Securities and Exchange Commission. Later, she served as attorney and counselor to the Chicago Board Options Exchange and to Grant Thornton, LLP, accounting and consulting firm. She was appointed by Governor Thompson as chair of the Illinois State Police Merit Board, serving in that role for 6 years, and retired in 1995 from Grant Thornton and returned to Knox with Rogers shortly after. Throughout her years of service to Knox College, Ann was appreciated for her straightforward, fair, and generous and warm dedication to Knox faculty, staff, students, alumni, and guests, as well as the greater Galesburg community. She helped shape the development of many college policies and procedures as pro bono counsel for the college, developing the first employee handbook, providing expertise and mentorship in developing and reviewing contracts, and serving as an indispensable resource for managers. Through the Zweifel Travel Fund, she and her family support travel expenses associated with faculty research and development. Ann is a proud alumna of Delta Delta Delta, and throughout her years at Knox, supported and counseled the Sisters of Knox Chi Delta chapter and served on the board of the chapter's Alumni Association. Through her caring and listening at countless alumni and college events, Ann came to know the stories of thousands of alumni. She also volunteered and served on and worked with numerous Galesburg community organizations, including Leadership Greater Galesburg, United Way, Carl Sandburg College Legal Assistant Program Advisory Board, PEO, Hawthorne Club, among many others. Ann is also one of the college's most generous supporters. Together, she and Roger are members of the Scripps Society, founded to honor those members of the Knox community whose tremendous lifetime generosity has remarkably altered the course of the college. In honor of their commitment to Knox's mission of access and their service to Knox College, Knox trustees, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends established an endowed scholarship in their name upon her retirement in 2010. The first Taylor Scholarship, given to a first-generation college student with academic promise, was awarded this fall. President Amott, in honor of her distinguished legal career and tireless devotion to the alumni, faculty, staff, and most of all, the students of Knox College, I present Ann Taylor for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
of Knox College, and by them delegated to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the privileges, honors, and dignities which here and elsewhere pertain to that degree. Trustee and former chair of the board, Jan Korn, will present the second candidate for an honorary degree.
President Amott, I am honored to present Roger Taylor for the degree of Doctor of Laws. There is no doubt that Knox College changed the life of Roger Taylor, and that Roger Taylor changed the trajectory of Knox College. As you've already heard, Roger first came to Knox as a first-generation college student from Fulton County, Illinois in 1959. Over the course of his 4 years at Knox, he studied English literature, served as president of the Alpha Delta Epsilon fraternity, was a DJ at WVKC, and met his future partner, Elizabeth Ann Zweifel. Roger received his degree in English literature in 1963, and shortly thereafter, he enlisted in the Navy and served in Vietnam. He then attended Northwestern University Law School and served as an editor of the Northwestern University Law Review. After graduating from Northwestern in 1971, Roger joined the law firm of Kirkland & Ellis in its Chicago office, and he became a partner in due course and spent 30 years after there as a trial lawyer. He became one of the firm's most trusted counselors on employment matters. Roger remained a dedicated supporter of his alma mater throughout his distinguished legal career. He volunteered for career services, admission, and alumni relations, and he served on the board of trustees. He became chair of the board in 1999, and upon the departure of Knox's 17th president in 2001, Roger served as interim president. This faithful appointment launched him into a new career that would take him out of retirement and into academia. Roger's 10 years as president served Knox well by offering visionary and consistent leadership when it was most needed. Upon his installation as president, Roger set 3 goals for the college: to strengthen institutional self-confidence, to nurture academic excellence, and to chart a course toward financial independence. You all could have recited those with me. Throughout his tenure, Roger worked tirelessly to meet these 3 goals. As a result of his work, Knox emerged a stronger and more confident institution with the highest enrollments in more than 40 years. It also emerged with a new curriculum that re-energized the college's academic program for the 21st century. Continual improvements in fundraising, a manageable endowment spending rate, new and renovated athletic facilities, classrooms and dormitories, nationally and internationally recognized commencement speakers, and improved goodwill between Knox and the greater Galesburg community. And of course, we can't forget that he and Ann acted to renovate the bell tower and the bell of Old Main. As lasting and important as all of these accomplishments have been, however, the most important accomplishment of the Taylor years may not be noticeable to most. He took the time to know personally as many students as possible. He ate with them in the cafeteria and boasted about their accomplishments on every possible occasion. Roger was also one of Knox's most enthusiastic and influential cheerleaders. In eloquent speeches, Roger affirmed the value of a Knox education wherever he went. He always recognized the grounds crew at commencement and the cafeteria staff whenever possible. He reintroduced the Knox fight song, and he spread his motto for the Knox community to not look down at their shoes. This enthusiasm and recognition ignited pride in the institution across the Knox community, from faculty and staff to alumni and friends. Roger's own pride in Knox is best realized in his continued philanthropic support of the college. As members of the Scripps Society, Knox's highest honor for donors, he and Anne exemplify those whose tremendous lifetime generosity has remarkably altered the course of the college. President Amott, in honor of his distinguished legal career and transformational leadership as the 18th president of Knox College, I present Roger Taylor for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
By the authority of the General Assembly of the State of Illinois, vested in the Board of Trustees of Knox College, and by them delegated to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, Honorary, with all the privileges, honors, and dignities which here and elsewhere pertain to that degree. Convocation, as we always do, with the singing of the alma mater and the fight song. And I am so relieved that our secret is now finally out.
I don't know.
Oh,